appreciate everybody coming. 2 weeks from game time. So kind of simulated that a little bit tonight, just being on the field a little bit longer, being in the stadium, getting a lot of work done offensively, defensively, and special teams. So with that, open up questions.
Yeah, what was key for the defense to stand on their red zone?
Are you talking about like when we played it, or are you talking about just practice? We did both today. We did practice, and then we did. Well, the thing we did was we did some green zone work, but we did it all third down stuff. Third downs inside the green zone, which we call 4-point plays. So if you don't get the first down, you're kicking a field goal. And if you make it, that's fine. But you could have had 7, so that's a difference of 4. So just working on stuff like that, which again, as you keep pressing forward, these guys have been going against each other for 3 weeks. You know, I mean, something's got to be able to give. They've seen the same looks. You're not game planning. I mean, you're getting good at what you need to get good at. And you're seeing a lot of the looks that you know what's coming. So, again, we've got to continue to mix that up. But I think it went back and forth. 2 days ago, I would say it was different. So I think it was opposite. So I love to see the back and forth.
What type of development are you noticing from the running backs and just some of the new faces?
Yeah, I think Muhammad's doing a really good job. I think a lot of our young guys are raising the floor of that room. There's going to be some young guys that really help us this year, which is good. But I see it in the pass pro. I see it in the run game. I think he's doing a really good job of teaching our guys, making it way simpler. Just true, pure progressions of what they're looking at in the run game. It all looks the same. It doesn't look like, okay, this guy's doing this, and because he's different than this kid, it all looks the same. And until they get their ball in their hand, and then they can go be the playmakers that they are. But I love where our running backs are at. We're deep there. Just get AJ as he was out there today, which was great. Get him some more contact, which is good to see. Getting him back to his old self.
Speaking of AJ, that is the first contact we've seen him take now in 10 months since
Me too.
he tore his knee out.
Me too.
So today was the first contact for him?
It was. I thought he looked pretty good.
How have you seen him kind of go back on his now progression back to play, and what are the expectations for him a couple of weeks from now?
I think that's always difficult, especially as a very like a contact position, you know, especially with how many hits he takes at running back. He's a really good football player. He's really fast, quick, agile. But I think where he's really learned a lot is the physicality piece of the game. And I think even the runs that he had that was out there, he hit his catapult number and trainers pulled him out, which was great. But you saw him lower his pads, have some violent run on contact. There was nothing holding him back. You know, sometimes your first time you go in contact, just you want to see how you really like push off that knee when the contact's there. And I thought he looked great.
What did the passing game show you today?
You know, some really good, some inconsistent, some things that we need to continue to get better at. But again, we've been going against each other for 3 weeks, you know, and, you know, same stuff. We're going to get better at them. But if you can get open and we can complete balls after 3 weeks against each other, a lot of the same concepts, then we're taking the right steps forward. But again, it's going to go back and forth. And I've learned that over 14 years. I mean, if it's one side's dominating the entire time, you know, you don't want that. But there's just some small things. It's the timing stuff. And maybe an accuracy piece here, maybe a depth piece here. But we've had some days that's been really, really good. And then when we're not on, it's just the small things. And those are all correctable. And that's why we go back in the meetings and keep working at it.
PJ, returning coach, 2 coordinators, quarterback. How's that play out in practice and prepping
Well,
for the season?
yeah, there's just a familiarity. I mean, we've already started to look at some game plan stuff as we move forward. But I think it's a lot of familiarity for the team. Same terminology, same system, keep growing within the system. Same ways of being coached, right? From the same type of coaching methods. Now, obviously, you want to continue to improve, do all your off-season studies, apply those things, which I think our coaches have done. But I think the familiarity and the cultural sustainability is important in that. But now we got to go out and perform. Now we got to go out there and actually do it. You know, it's one thing about having the whole off-season to get better at it, and then you got to go out there and do it and execute it.
From year 1 to year 2, what have you noticed or liked about John Nestor, not only on the field, but maybe from a leadership standpoint?
Yeah, one is leadership. It's a great question. John Nestor's leadership's way better than it was. I think it's the confidence, the emotional and mental piece to that. I think that's all come together for him. You know, I think when he first got here, you know, I think he questioned himself here and there. And now he's one of the most confident guys on the team. It's a credit to him. It's credit to Coach Monroe, that entire corner room. His leadership development, the Go for Life program, I think just all the support our players have, he's used it. It's one thing to have all the support in the world. I mean, these student athletes have all the support in the world, no matter which area of their life it is, academically, athletically, socially, spiritually. Everywhere you turn, there's a resource. Now, whether you use that resource or not is up to you. John Nestor has been one of those guys that truly has used it and risen his game, his confidence in every area of his life, and he's a very, very productive player as well. But he's leaps and bounds from where he was last year.
We saw another state judge have another 20, 25 guys now be allegedly eligible. How are you and Garrett managing, knowing just how do you navigate these waters of, you don't know, like, if a guy like Brady Denneberg in 2 weeks' time is going to be ready to go, or even potentially bringing in another guy just on the team?
You don't remember, but you remember, like, some people thought the world was round and some flat at one point, right? You travel and you just fall off the face of the earth. You just didn't know. You just sailed. We just sail. And then, you know what? Whatever they tell us, we respond to.
Yeah.
Because there's you can't be proactive in that. You can't create your own rules and your own judgments. I mean, Garrett's wife's a lawyer, but I mean, that's about as much say as we've got. So sometimes you just go out there and you sail the 7 seas, and then they tell you, hey, you can add a player. And we say, all right, looks like it's round. And then if they take that player back at some point, it's a shame, but then it's flat. So, I mean, it's one of those things that it's the best way I can describe it to you. You just navigate those waters at some point. There wasn't a map before, you had to go discover it. So we'll see what happens, but we're going to respond to the data we have, go respond again, and hopefully see what happens here in the future with that and another player.
Kingsbury separated himself next to Maverick.
I think that battle continues. I don't know if it's necessarily just a separation piece when you look at the linebacker depth. I really don't. Because we're in base where you have a Sam linebacker, Joey Gerlach's in there. Joey Gerlach's playing at a high level. Kingsbury's playing at a high level. Maverick's Maverick. You look at Nate Cleveland. He's raising his game. Carmo. I mean, look at all these guys. They keep raising the game. And so I don't necessarily say, okay, these are the 2 linebackers we'll have the whole time. We have too many packages. We have too many personnel groupings. Guys can move positions. So I feel really good about where we are at linebacker, not just Kingsbury, but he had a very good camp. And he's a way better player than he was last year. But I feel good about that room as a whole.
1 or 2 more for Coach?
Just from year 1 to year 2 as a starter for Drake, what is it like and how has it changed in terms of relinquishing responsibility for being the Drake of this offense?
Yeah, I think that every day you've got to continue to go out, grind, force yourself to be a better player than you were yesterday. And defense is out there to stop you. Every day Drake learns something completely different. He is a sponge. He's a student of the game. He's always in the building. You just watch like him, and it's not always going to be perfect. I mean, if it's perfect, then we're not playing good enough defense. We're constantly switching up the looks on him, constantly presenting all types of things on Danny's defense. And you want that. This is training camp. We're not game planning yet. But you watch the evolution of his game from the maturity and the confidence. And I think he's building with that every single day, and you look at his pocket presence, and, it's not easy when it's just sometimes when you just go play it and it's all thud and you don't really know. It's not really live. Everybody kind of knows that. So it's kind of football, but it's not like real football. But I think that he has kind of elevated everybody's game around him, and he's done that to himself. Now he's just got to continue to keep working hard and get in the next 2 weeks, which will be important for the game plan of game 1. But I'm really proud of his progress. I mean, he's so fun to coach. But I know that he comes out every day to get better, and he's going to fail, and he's going to grow, and he's going to fail, and it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be easy.
PJ called him over at one point and talked to him privately. What was kind of the message?
That was just a leadership piece. What I wanted him to kind of go in there and insert himself into the offense, and what I wanted him to kind of say in his own words, paraphrase, and then you go in there and dissect it and translate it how you want, but here's the message that I want. As you're going too, you're pulling pieces out constantly, and he's the constant, and you're pulling out all the maybe 3 of the starting offensive linemen. You're pulling out Darius, you're pulling out different players, you're putting some young guys around him. I want to see how he responds to all that. He doesn't get to control that. At one point you're like, all right, there's my left tackle. Next thing you know, there's not where'd my left tackle go, and you got to respond to that. And things like that happen in a game. So it's not just the performance piece. It's changing the environment around him, and then see how he can elevate everybody else's game around him as well.
2 weeks.
All right, thank you, guys.
Go ahead.
2 weeks from tonight, are there some benchmarks, anything you want to hit that you will feel more comfortable about the team?
We just want to play ball. We just want to play
Are
football.
you at that point where you're just ready to?
Well, I think 3 weeks in, everybody's ready to just go play ball. There's still, you don't want to peak too early, right? And you also just don't want to be unprepared. There's a balance to that. And so for us, we've had 3 really good weeks of training camp, really three great weeks of football. And now we're going to see, especially just getting the environment, we're kick off the time, what the stadium is going to look like, especially guys who have not played in here. But I think it's they've whatever we put in front of them, they ran right through the wall. So they're going to have to get their bodies back at some point here coming up. But there's a good balance to it as we start transitioning into game planning here probably in the next 3-4 days.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Roll the boat, Sky. Mago Gophers. Thanks.